It was afternoon. Wang Ji was working from home in his office room. He was busy with online work and meetings. Suddenly, he heard a knock on the door. He didn't go out because Wei Ying was at home that day, so he thought Wei Ying would check who it was. However, Lan Zhan, the younger one, felt a little curious. It was unusual for someone to visit their house on a Friday afternoon. So he quietly went downstairs. He saw that their close friend looked very nervous. His face was pale, and he seemed scared. The friend said, "I need to talk to you. It's very important. I wouldn't come like this if it wasn't serious." Wang Ji noticed that Wei Ying's eyes were filling with tears. He immediately hugged him gently and asked, "What happened? You can tell me." The friend was shocked seeing how lovingly Wang Ji held Wei Ying. Then Wei Ying said in a trembling voice, "I am sorry. I am pregnant. I don't know what to do." Everyone was shocked. They were only 18 years old. It was hard to believe this was happening. Wang Ji stayed calm. He did not get angry. He hugged Wei Ying again and said softly, "Why are you apologizing? It's not only your fault. If you should have been careful, then I should have been careful too." Wei Ying started crying more and asked, "So you're not angry with me?" Wang Ji replied, "Of course not. I love you. No matter what happens, I will always support you." He then gently asked, "What do you want to do? It's your body. Whatever decision you make, I will stand by you." Wei Ying touched his stomach and said nervously, "Maybe we should think about ending it. Because we are too young. But I already feel attached to this baby. I want to give birth." Wang Ji smiled and placed his hand over Wei Ying's hand. "If that's what you want, then I will take responsibility." Tears of happiness filled Wei Ying's eyes. "But we are so young. We had other plans for our future." Wang Ji said, "My future always included you. Now it will include our baby too." Then they worried about family reactions. Wei Ying's family was very traditional. They might not accept a baby before marriage. Wang Ji said firmly, "If needed, I will marry you." And with that, they decided to begin a new chapter of their life together. Lan Zhan had already heard everything. Finally, he stepped forward in front of them. Wei Ying and Wang Ji quickly separated and stood properly. They looked nervous. Lan Zhan said calmly, "I heard everything." Wei Fengcap immediately lowered his head in shame. Wang Ji also became tense. Lan Zhan continued, "Relax. I'm not angry. I am a little disappointed because you both were always responsible. But I'm not angry." Wei Ying softly said, "I am sorry." Lan Zhan stopped him. "Stop apologizing. As I said, this is not only your fault. Wang Ji should have taken precautions too." Wang Ji felt embarrassed hearing that in front of him. Both teenagers felt very uncomfortable. Wang Ji explained, "Uncle, we did take precautions. I'm usually on birth control, and most of the time we use protection. But last time, we forgot. I thought nothing would happen." He felt extremely uncomfortable saying this in front of his boyfriend's uncle. Lan Zhan didn't want to make things more awkward. He said, "Accidents can happen. I'm not angry about that. But I want to know, how long have you two been in a relationship behind my back?" Wang Ji answered honestly, "We've been dating for 2 years." Lan Zhan asked Wei Ying, "Does your family know?" Wei Ying replied, "No, uncle. My parents don't know. But my siblings probably do." Wang Ji added, "My brother doesn't know officially, but I think he has guessed." Then Wei Ying nervously asked, "Now that you know about us, what do you think about our relationship?" Lan Zhan said honestly, "I won't say I'm extremely happy about it. But I know Wang Ji is very happy with you. That matters to me." He continued, "You're thinking about keeping the baby. This is not the right age to become parents. But it's your choice. If you feel ready for this big change, I won't stop you. In fact, I will support you." Wei Ying's eyes widened in shock. "Really? I thought you would throw me out of the house." Lan Zhan smiled slightly. "Do I look that cruel? This baby is equally Wang Ji's responsibility. And you are family. If you are carrying my nephew's child, then you are also my family." He added, "Family supports each other. I cannot leave you alone in this situation." Wei Ying's eyes filled with tears again. Wang Ji gently wiped his tears and asked if he was okay. Lan Zan Zoka Laiti. It's pregnancy hormones. He's more sensitive right now. Wei Ying then asked carefully. Your family is very traditional. Won't they criticize you for accepting me? Lan Zan Ziplit Seriosili. Yes, our family values traditions. But we value good morals even more. Would it be morally right to abandon you? To force an abortion? No. So I will support you. Both teenagers felt deeply relieved and grateful. Just then Wang Ji's brother returned home from college. Lan Zhan told him directly, your brother is going to be a father. He froze in shock and looked at Wang Ji. Is this true? Wei Ying gently touched his stomach and said, yes, I'm going to give birth to Wang Ji's baby. Wang Qi nodded confidently. Yes, brother. We've decided to keep the baby. And we are happy. His brother stayed silent for a moment, then smiled softly. I'm surprised, but I'm happy for you both. I know you'll do your best. Wang Ji's brother smiled and said, you both will become wonderful parents. Then he asked, what do you think your family's reaction will be? Wei Ying looked nervous. I have no idea. Madam, you might throw me out of the house. Lan Zhan immediately said, if that happens, you will come and stay with us. Until you and Wang Ji find your own place, you can live in our house. Wei Ying was shocked. Really? Lan Zan Ziplit family. Do you think I would let a pregnant Omega become homeless? You have only 1 month of school left. You are close to graduation. You cannot drop out now. Wei Ying then opened up about his fear. My mother never really liked me. When she found out I was an Omega, she didn't trust me. She thought I would try to seduce someone, or do something wrong. Now that I'm pregnant at Sabotag 18, she will hate me even more. He was getting emotional and angry. Wang Ji held his hand tightly and said softly, it doesn't matter what she thinks. You will stay with me. I won't let you go anywhere. Lan Zhan added, if you're scared to tell them, Wang Ji and I will go with you. You shouldn't take so much stress. It's not good for you or the baby. Wei Ying was surprised. How do you know I calm down when he's near? Lan Zhan smiled slightly. Because for the last 20 minutes, Wang Ji has been calming you. Wei Ying laughed softly. I don't know why, but whenever he's near me, I feel peaceful. Lan Zhan et lai. When an Omega carries an Alpha's baby, a special bond forms between them. That's why you feel connected and safe. Wang Ji confidently said, I'm ready to fully bond with him. Lan Zhan wunne. Once you make that bond, you cannot step back from your responsibility. Wang Ji replied without hesitation. I will never change my mind. The baby is mine. And Wei Ying is mine. Lan Zhan congratulated them. Crescent Moon telling Wei Ying's family. That evening, they all went to Wei Ying's house to tell his family. Wei Ying was trembling with fear. Wang Ji held his hand tightly. Madam, you saw them together, and immediately looked angry. What have you done this time? Lan Zhan calmly said, we are here to discuss something important about Wei Ying and my nephew. Wei Ying gathered courage and said, Madam, I'm pregnant. This is Wang Ji's baby. We've decided to keep it. Everyone in the room was shocked. Wang Ji continued, we've been together for 2 years. I love him. I want to marry him and take responsibility. Madam, you looked furious. Have you lost your mind? Think about your reputation. He is just an Omega. Wang Ji's eyes turned cold. I love him. He is not useless. If you cannot see his worth, that is your loss. Lan Zhan stepped in and said, we are ready to support them fully. If needed, Wei Ying will stay with us. Madam, you stayed silent but clearly unhappy. Wei Ying's siblings were emotional. His sister hugged him and said, you are not unwanted. Don't ever think that. Wei Ying decided softly, I think it's best if I go with them for now. It will be easier. Wang Ji asked one last time, you won't change your decision, right? Wei Ying nodded. I won't. Finally, Wei Ying packed his things. He hugged his siblings goodbye. They told him to stay in touch, and that they were waiting to meet the baby. Lan Zhan said they would take the remaining belongings later. The 3 of them sat in the car and drove home, ready to welcome the newest member of their family. Dinner at the Lan house. After coming home, the 4 of them had dinner together. Wang Ji kept putting nutritious food into Wei Ying's bowl, and even fed him with his own hands. Normally, sitting so close at the dinner table wouldn't be considered appropriate, but no one said anything because everyone knew it had been a stressful day. Sunrise the next morning. The next morning, Wei Ying came to breakfast. Lan Zhan noticed a clear bonding mark on Wei Ying's neck. He wasn't surprised because he had already warned them about bonding. But the mark was quite visible, even under his shirt collar. Soon, they booked an appointment at an Omega Health Center. Hospital at the hospital. Wei Ying and Wang Ji went to the hospital together. People kept staring at them because they looked very young to become parents. Still, the ultrasound technician thought they looked like a cute couple. Even though Wei Ying felt safe with Wang Ji beside him, he was still nervous. While standing in line, Wang Ji noticed his nervousness and gently held his shoulders. "Are you okay?" he asked. Wei Ying replied softly, "I'm okay. I just feel overwhelmed. I can't believe we're going to see our baby." At the reception, the nurse confirmed their appointment. "This is your first trimester, right? You're here for an ultrasound?" Wang Ji nodded. When asked who came with him, Wei Ying shyly said, "He's my boyfriend and the baby's father." Wang Ji added confidently, "We are bonded." They were asked to sit and wait. Wei Ying held Wang Ji's hand tightly. Wang Ji kissed his forehead and said, "Everything will be fine." Woman health worker meeting the doctor. Finally, the doctor called them inside. "Hello. I'm Dr. Liu. Nice to meet you," she said. She asked about symptoms. Wei Ying explained, "I feel very tired, and I've been feeling like vomiting for a few weeks." The doctor asked how long it had been. "About 2 months," he replied. She asked about birth control. Wei Ying felt shy, but answered honestly, "I've been taking pills regularly for 2 years. We usually use protection too. But this time something went wrong." The doctor calmly explained, "You don't need to feel embarrassed. It's normal to ask these questions." Then she asked carefully, "Was this the first time you shared your heat properly with your partner?" Wei Ying was surprised because that was true. He explained that although they had been dating for 2 years and had been intimate before, 2 months ago was the first time they fully bonded during his heat. His family was away on a business trip, and they stayed together at home for 4 days. They didn't realize that this time would lead to pregnancy. The doctor explained gently, "That makes sense. During heat, even with birth control, the chances can increase. That's likely why you conceived." Wang Ji tried to lighten the mood and joked, "Why don't they teach this properly in school?" The doctor laughed softly. Then she said seriously, "Because you are young, I need to make sure you understand everything before we continue." The doctor asked them gently, "Does your family know about this baby? Do you have their support?" Wei Ying replied, "His family supports us. My family situation is a little complicated." Wang Ji added, "My family supports our decision. That's why he is staying at our house so I can take care of him properly." The doctor nodded. "That's a wise decision. A pregnant Omega should stay close to his alpha. It helps the baby grow in a healthy environment." She handed Wang Ji a pamphlet. "This explains how you can take care of your partner during pregnancy." Wang Ji said, "Thank you, doctor." The ultrasound moment. Then the doctor began the ultrasound. Wei Ying lay down nervously while Wang Ji held his hand tightly. Both of them stared at the screen. On the screen, there was a tiny shape. The doctor smiled. "Can you see? That's your baby." Wei Ying whispered softly, "It's so small." The doctor replied, "Don't worry. It's still early." Then she turned on the sound. Suddenly, the baby's heartbeat filled the entire room. Wang Ji's eyes filled with tears. Wei Ying looked at him. "Are you okay?" The doctor smiled warmly. "I'll give you both a moment," and she stepped outside. As soon as she left, Wei Ying asked softly, "Are you really okay?" Wang Ji wiped his tears. "I'm just very happy. I can't believe that's our baby." Wei Ying kissed his forehead and said, "We're really going to be parents." Wang Ji nodded. "Our life is about to change, but I think we're ready." Wei Ying smiled. "As long as you're with me, I'm not scared." The doctor came back and completed the remaining tests. Back at home. When they returned home, Wei Ying rested his head in Wang Ji's lap on the sofa. while they both looked at the ultrasound pictures. Lanjan walked in and said, "Judging by your faces, everything went well." Wang Ji showed him the pamphlet and said, "Apparently omegas can become more sensitive during pregnancy." Lanjan raised an eyebrow. "So now you're researching everything?" Wang Ji smiled chilly. "I just want to take better care of him." Lanjan ziplit gan li. "I approved your relationship and allowed him to stay here. That doesn't mean you should show too much affection publicly." Wei Ying laughed lightly. "Sorry, uncle. We'll be more careful, at least in public." Then he excitedly said, "Uncle, look at the ultrasound picture. Cincin wedding preparations." Soon, wedding invitations were sent out. Some relatives were shocked. "He's only 18. Didn't he just finish high school?" someone asked. Lanzan answer family. "Yes, he is young. But they've been together for 2 years. They chose this themselves. I care only about his happiness." Someone asked carefully, "Isn't the boy an omega? Is that the reason for this early marriage?" Lanzan ziplit. "They are serious about each other. That's enough." Eventually Wang Ji and Wei Ying got married. Pregnant woman 6 months later. A few months passed. Wei Ying was now 6 months pregnant. They attended a Lan family function together. Everyone looked at them, some with curiosity, some with surprise, but Wang Ji stood proudly beside Wei Ying, protecting and supporting him. And their journey continued. At the family function, some relatives were whispering, "It has only been 6 or 7 months since their wedding. Doesn't that seem too soon?" People were quietly calculating the timeline, but Wang Ji didn't care. His only focus was taking care of Wei Ying. After the function ended, he gently took Wei Ying back to their hotel room so he could rest. After they left, a relative asked Lanjan, "So you already knew, right? That your nephew's partner was pregnant before marriage? You said they bonded before marriage, but you didn't mention the pregnancy." Lanjan took a deep breath. "Yes, I knew. Do you think I would be angry just because they became parents before marriage? When I found out, I gave them a chance to explain." Wang Ji was ready to take responsibility. Wei Ying had already cried enough. "I didn't want to hurt them more." The relative smiled. "You are a very good uncle. Now I understand why those boys trust you so much. You must have been disappointed at least a little." Lanzan not that? "Yes, I was disappointed at first. But I was also proud that Wang Ji stepped up and accepted his responsibility." Baby 2 months later. Baby arrives. At the next family gathering, the spotlight was again on them. But this time they weren't alone. In Wei Ying's arms was their 2-month-old baby boy, named Ayu. All the Lan family members were happy to see him. Everyone praised Wei Ying for giving birth to such a healthy and adorable baby. Every single family member held Ayu in their arms at least once. The entire Lan family had fully accepted both Wei Ying and the baby. House back home. When they returned home, Wang Ji said, "Uncle, we feel so relieved." Everyone was respectful and welcoming. Lanzan smiled. "Yes, it seems the whole family has accepted you." Wei Ying gently kissed the baby's cheek. "He's so cute. How could anyone not love him?" Lanzan Loget. "My first grandnephew is truly sweet." Wei Ying teased. "So you're happy that I became pregnant at 18? Lanzan ziplit. "I would have been happier if you had waited a little. But then I would have had to wait longer to meet Ayu. So now, I'm happy. Just please don't give us any more surprises." Wei Ying quickly said, "Don't worry. We're not thinking about another baby anytime soon. Not until we're fully settled in our jobs and life." Baby bottle a sweet parenting moment. While they were talking, Ayu suddenly started crying. Wei Ying said softly, "I think he's hungry." Someone asked gently if he felt shy about nursing the baby. Wei Ying smiled. "The nurse taught me well. I know what to do." Lanjan offered, "We can step out if you want privacy." Wei Ying shook his head. "It's okay. You can stay." He carefully fed the baby under a blanket. Even though he felt slightly shy, he knew everyone there loved and supported him. After feeding, he handed Ayu to Wang Ji. Wang Ji held the baby carefully and patted his back gently. Lanjan watched them and became emotional. Wang Ji noticed. "Uncle, are you okay?" Lanzan not dead? "Yes. I was just thinking about how quickly you accepted fatherhood. Wang Ji looked at his small family, his partner and his son, and smiled proudly. And that's where their journey truly begins. Wei Ying and Wang Ji visit their elders with baby Ayu. They congratulate them, and Wei Ying is holding the baby in his arms. Jiang Cheng and Wen Ning are sitting nearby. Madam Yu couldn't come because she had some important work, but she sent her congratulations. Jiang Cheng looks at the baby and says, "He's so small." Wei Ying smiles and replies, "He's a baby. Babies are supposed to be small. What were you expecting?" Jiang Cheng adds, "He's also very light. I thought he would be a little healthier." Wang Qi explains calmly. "He was born 2 weeks early. Slowly he will gain weight and grow stronger." Someone comments that Ayu looks very calm and probably doesn't cry much. Wei Ying nods. Yes, he rarely cries. Only when he's hungry or needs a diaper change. And as soon as Wang Ji holds him, he becomes quiet. Everyone smiles at how sweet the baby is. They ask Wang Ji, "How does it feel to be a father?" Wang Qi replies honestly, "I am very happy. I already love my son so much that I cannot imagine my life without him." Lan Zhan uncle visits often to help them. Wei Ying laughs and says, "Sometimes uncle even cooks and cleans. He doesn't let me enter the kitchen." Lan Zhan rất thân ghen li. We are family. This is a special time in your lives. You both should spend it together. And Wei Ying needs time for his body to recover. Crescent moon, a late night moment. One night, Lan Zhan wakes up because he hears baby Ayu crying. He walks into the living room and sees Wang Ji sitting on the sofa, holding the crying baby and trying to calm him. Wang types softly to the baby, "Little one, I know you need Wei Ying, but he is sleeping. He needs energy so he can take care of you." Lan Zhan feels emotional watching this. He goes closer and asks softly, "Wang Ji, is he crying a lot?" Wang Qi explains, "I changed his diaper and fed him. I brought him outside so Wei Ying can sleep." Lan Zhan hands him a small toy. "Try giving him this." As soon as Wang Ji gives the toy to Ayu, he stops crying. Lan Zhan smiled. "You and your brother loved this toy when you were little." Wang Ji starts talking gently to the baby. "I read that if we talk to babies often, they learn to speak faster. I used to talk to him even when he was in Wei Ying's tummy. Maybe my voice comforts him." He then says softly, "Sometimes I can't believe he is real. That he is my baby. Part of me wants him to stay small and cute forever, so I can always protect him. But sometimes I want him to grow up quickly, so I can see what kind of person he becomes." Lan Zhan smiled proudly. "He will grow up just like his parents. You are an incredible father." Graduation cap 3 years later. 3 years pass. Ayu is now 3 years old. Wei Ying is 21 and has started college. There he makes 2 new friends, Jiang Cheng and Wen Ning. One day they invite him to lunch. Wei Ying says, "Sorry, my husband is coming to pick me up." They are surprised. "The tall alpha who picked you up yesterday? That's your husband." Wei Ying smiles. "Yes, he is my husband." They are shocked. "You got married at 18? Where did you even find such a perfect husband?" Wei Ying laughs. "Many people say that. But I'm happy. We met in high school." They ask, "So you were high school sweethearts? When did you marry?" Wei Ying replies, 3 years ago when we were 18. Soon, Wang Ji arrives in the parking area. Weimux runs to him and hugs him tightly. Wang Ji is holding little Ayu. Wei Ying kisses his husband and asks, "You brought Ayu too?" Wang Qi smiles. "Yes. I picked him up from uncle's house." 3-year-old Ayu runs to Wei Ying. "Mama, I missed you." Wei Ying hugs him and kisses his cheek. "I missed you too, my little rider." Wei Ying then introduces his friends. "This is my husband Wang Ji, and our cute son Ayu." His friends stand there in complete shock. "You even have a son?" Wei Ying's friends finally understand him better. One of them says, "Now I understand why you got married at such a young age. But it's really cute how you go to college, and also take care of your 3-year-old baby. I can't even take care of myself properly." Wei Ying laughs shyly and says, "It's not just me. My husband supports me a lot. And our family helps too. Uncle Lan Zhan takes great care of Ayu." Another friend says, "It's really good that you have family support. If something like this happened in my house, my parents would be furious." They ask, "At first your family must have had issues, right? But after the baby was born, everything became okay?" Wei Ying smiles. "Yes, once Ayu was born, most problems disappeared." Few days later, while eating lunch, one friend teases him. "Now I understand why you decided to be with Wang Ji at 18. Just look at him, he's tall, handsome and powerful." Wei Ying quickly says, "Hey, don't even look at my husband like that." They laugh. "I'm not interested in stealing anyone's husband. And honestly, the way he looks at you, it's clear he only sees you." Wei Ying becomes serious and says softly, "I didn't choose him because of the baby. We didn't plan it that way. It was a happy little accident. I love him. I just wanted to be with him." His friend asks, "So are you planning another baby?" Wei Ying replies, "Not until I finish college." They are impressed. "You're managing fatherhood, college and marriage, and still getting good grades." Ha! Wei Ying grins. "Maybe I'm just talented." They laugh together. Yellowheart back home. Husband and wife moment. When Wei Ying returns home, Ayu is sleeping. He hugs Wang Ji and says, "I was talking about you to my friends today." Wang Ji raises an eyebrow. "Oh, what did you say about me?" Wei Ying smiles. "I was praising you. How could I say anything bad?" They were impressed. Some were even jealous that I have such a handsome husband. Wang Ji blushes slightly. "And what else?" "They said I won the jackpot. That you're not just handsome, but also kind and romantic." Wang Ji gently pulls him closer and kisses him softly. "I should show you how much I love you." They share a sweet and private romantic moment, showing how deeply connected they are after 3 years of marriage. Kancelářská budova visit in Wang Ji's workplace. As time passes, Wei Ying sometimes visits Wang Ji's workplace with little Ayu. His co-workers are always happy to see the young family. One day, Wei Ying goes alone to get drinks, and a new employee tries to flirt with him. "Do you work here?" Wei Ying replies, "No, I'm here to visit my husband." The man looks surprised. "You're married?" At that moment, Wang Ji arrives holding Ayu and calmly says, "Yes, he is married." He wraps an arm around Wei Ying's waist protectively. Wei Ying smiles sweetly and says, "Perfect timing. Let's go for lunch." Wang Ji politely asks the man, "Did you need something from my husband?" The employee quickly says, "No, nothing. I was just getting a drink." Wang Ji gives Wei Ying a protective look and walks away with him and their son. On the way, Wei Ying whispers teasingly, "You look even more handsome when you act protective." Wang Ji just smiles quietly. Wei Ying smiles at Wang Ji and says, "I didn't want to become someone who restricts your freedom. If you ever feel like I'm holding you back, you can tell me." Wang Ji gently replies, "I'm not talking about freedom like that. When I see you being protective and caring, I actually like you even more. You look even more attractive." He softly adds, "I will always protect you and Ayu." Wei Ying kisses him lightly. "I know, husband." Soon, it's time to enroll Ayu in preschool. On the first day, they notice many young parents around the school building. Ayu, now 4 years old, walks into his classroom wearing his tiny school uniform. Watching him go inside, Wei Ying feels emotional. "Our baby has grown up. He doesn't need us anymore." Wang Ji places a comforting hand on his shoulder. "He's just going to preschool, not college. He's still our cute baby." Wei Ying laughs softly. "I know, but he's growing so fast. It feels like just yesterday he was in my tummy." Wang Ji smiles. "Uncle often says the same thing about us." Later, while waiting to pick Ayu up, a woman approaches them. "You both look new. Did your child just get admitted?" Wei Ying nods. "Yes, I'm Wei Ying, and this is my husband, Wang Ji." The woman smiles. "We're here to pick up our son too. Maybe our kids will become friends." Wei Ying admits, "I was actually worried whether my son would make friends. He hasn't had many chances to interact with other kids." Wang Ji adds, "My cousin's children study here too. Maybe they'll all become friends." The woman looks surprised. "Wait, do you know Lan Qiren? He was my history teacher in high school." Wang Ji nods. He's our uncle. She laughs. He was so strict. How is he now? Wei Ying chuckles. He's still strict. But now he prefers babysitting his grandnephew. They all laugh together. The woman asks gently, "You said your son didn't get much social interaction. Are you planning to give him a sibling?" Wei Ying blushes slightly. "We were thinking about it, but I want to finish college first." Wang Ji says firmly, "I don't want him handling college stress and pregnancy at the same time. His health is important, so we'll wait." Wei Ying smiles lovingly. "See? He's very protective. I'll finish my degree first. Then we'll think about preparing for Ayu's little sibling." The woman smiles warmly, remembering her own younger days. Soon the school bell rings. Ayu runs toward them happily. "Mama, Papa, I made friends." Wei Ying kneels down. "You already made friends?" Ayu nods excitedly. "Yes. Me, Jisung, and Jingyi played together. We're best friends now. They are the son of the lady they met and Wang Ji's cousin's child." Wei Ying laughs. "If that's true, we'll definitely arrange a playdate with your best friends." Ayu beams with happiness. Wang Ji lifts him into his arms. "How was your first day at school?" Ayu replies proudly, "It was very good. I didn't even miss you and Mama." Wei Ying pretends to be shocked. "Our baby really has grown up into a brave boy." Ayu hugs both of them tightly. "But I still need you." Wei Ying kisses his forehead. "Don't worry. We'll always be with you." Wang Ji nods. "Let's go home and hear more about your first school day." The three of them walk home together, hand in hand, a small happy family. Ayu made many friends on his very first day of preschool. That night, Wei Ying and Wang Ji were in their room when Wei Ying softly said, "Lan Zhan, we had agreed that after I finish college, we would plan for another baby, right?" Wang Ji came and sat beside him. "Yes, I remember. But why are you asking suddenly?" Wei Ying smiled shyly. "I just wanted to check that you didn't forget. Jiang Yin recently gave birth, and after seeing her newborn, I started feeling like I want another baby too. Newborns are so cute, you can't blame me for wanting one." Wang Ji smiled warmly. "Of course not. I also want to become a father again. I want Ayu to grow up with a younger sibling, just like I grew up with my brother. But we will wait until you graduate." Wei Ying nodded. "Okay. But as soon as my final year ends, we're going straight home and starting baby planning. I don't want to waste time. I want to have our second child before I turn 25. Wang Ji leaned forward and kissed his lips softly. On weekends, Wei Ying often met his college friends Jiang Cheng and Wen Ning for coffee, sometimes bringing Ayu along. Now Ayu was 4 years old and sitting quietly, drawing in his coloring book. One friend asked, "How is your husband? Is he still working at the same company?" Wei Ying proudly replied, "Yes. And they often give him major projects because he's smart and hardworking. He might get promoted soon." "That's amazing news," they said. Just then, Ayu tugged at Wei Ying's sleeve. "Mama, how is my drawing? I tried very hard to color it nicely." Wei Ying looked at the picture. "It's beautiful. You did such a good job." Ayu smiled shyly. "It's not as good as Mama's drawings though, but I tried my best." When Ayu was 3, Wei Ying had applied to study art in college because he always loved drawing. He wanted to improve his skills and eventually work as a freelance artist from home, so he could take care of his children while also supporting Wang Ji. Seeing his mother draw often, Ayu naturally developed an interest in art too. Wei Ying always encouraged him. Jiang Cheng joked, "When I was 4, I couldn't draw this well. That means you'll become a great artist someday. Just keep practicing." Ayu immediately started drawing again with determination. His friends smiled. "He's really your child." When Primary laughed, "He looks like his father, but his personality and interests are exactly like yours." Wei Ying teased, "When he was 3, he was already very romantic like me. That's why he's such a sweet boy." Ayu proudly said, "I want to become like Papa." Wei Ying laughed. "You can become whatever you want, but don't forget to finish your juice." While drinking coffee, one friend teased, "You're still drinking coffee? So I guess there's no chance of a sibling yet." Wei Ying quickly covered Ayu's ears. "Don't say things like that in front of him. I already told you, we're waiting until I graduate." They laughed. So that means Ayu will get a little brother or sister soon? Absolutely, Wei Ying said confidently. He'll have a sibling soon enough. One friend shook his head in disbelief. At our age, most people are trying to avoid pregnancy. And here you are planning a second one. Wei Ying smiled calmly. Nothing in my life has happened in a normal way. But everything that happened made me happy. While they were still sitting there, Wang Ji arrived at the cafe. Ayu immediately jumped up. Papa. Wang Ji hugged him tightly. Wei Ying stood up too. Let's go home before you get even more spoiled by Papa. Ayu happily waved goodbye to the uncles. Wang Ji looked at Wei Ying softly. Are you free now? Let's take Ayu home. The small family left together, smiling and chatting on their way back. A few peaceful days passed. Wei Ying had finished college, and only his graduation ceremony was left. As he had promised, now he wanted to focus on planning their second baby. One Wednesday, he told Ayu that Grandpa would pick him up from school because Wednesdays were busy days. Uncle usually handled family matters that day, so no one would disturb them at home. When the house was finally quiet, Wei Ying lay down on the bed. Wang Ji joined him, holding him close. Wei Ying teased softly. You seem very impatient. Valky replied honestly. I've been waiting a long time. I can't wait to welcome our second baby. They shared a loving and private moment, filled with warmth and affection. Afterward, Wei Ying rested his head on Wang Ji's chest and said, I'm not sure if this month will work. Wang Ji gently reassured him. If not this time, we'll try again. There's no rush. But both of them hoped deeply. 1 month later, Wei Ying stood in front of Wang Ji holding a positive pregnancy test. His eyes were filled with happy tears. He remembered how scared he had been during his first pregnancy at 18, worrying that Wang Ji might leave him because it was unplanned. But this time was different. This pregnancy was planned. This time he felt secure and loved. Wang Ji hugged him tightly, both of them overwhelmed with happiness. They decided to tell their family first. During a small family gathering, Wei Ying smiled and said, What if we told you that Ayu is going to get a little sibling? He showed them the ultrasound photo. Uncle's eyes widened. You're pregnant? Yes, Wei Ying replied happily. 3 months now. But we haven't told many people yet. Not even Ayu. Wang Ji added respectfully. This time we truly planned it. Everyone congratulated them warmly. At 13 weeks, after another ultrasound, they found out they were expecting a baby girl. They decided it was the right time to tell Ayu. Ayu, Wei Ying said gently, you're going to have a little sister. Ayu's eyes lit up. I'm going to be a big brother? He became extremely excited, proudly telling Grandpa, my little baby sister is coming. As the months passed, everything went smoothly. Then one afternoon, Wei Ying suddenly went into labor earlier than expected. Wang Ji quickly called Uncle. I'm taking Wei Ying to the hospital. I'll drop Ayu at your house. Uncle stayed home with Ayu, distracting him with cartoons while silently praying that everything would go well. After some time his phone rang. He answered quickly. Wang Ji, is Wei Ying okay? Is the baby okay? Wang Ji's voice was emotional but joyful. They're both fine. The delivery went smoothly. Uncle, I have a daughter. I'm a father of 2 now. Uncle's eyes filled with tears. Ayu looked up curiously. Grandpa, why are you crying? Uncle smiled warmly. Little boy, your baby sister has arrived. Ayu gasped. Really? Can I talk to Papa? On the phone he said excitedly. Papa, is my sister here? Yes, Wang Ji replied. You're officially a big brother now. When can I meet her? Very soon. Stay with Grandpa tonight. Tomorrow you can come to the hospital. Ayu hugged Grandpa happily. Can we go see her tomorrow, please? Grandpa chuckled and patted his head. Of course. That night, Ayuan was so excited that he couldn't sleep. Lan Zhan made warm milk for him and told him bedtime stories. After some time, Ayuan finally fell asleep. The next morning, Lan Zhan and Wei Ying took Ayuan to the hospital. Ayuan was holding a small gift he bought for his baby sister. As soon as they reached the hospital room, Ayuan ran inside excitedly toward Wei Ying. Lan Zhan gently stopped him and said, Ayuan, you shouldn't run near Mama. You might accidentally hurt him. Ayuan quickly nodded and said, "Yes, Baba. I won't hurt Mama." Lanjan walked to Wei Ying and softly asked, "Are you feeling okay?" Wei Ying smiled weakly and replied, "Yes, I'm fine. Just a little tired." Ayuan looked around the room curiously and asked, "Where is my little sister?" Wei Ying smiled and asked, "Do you want to meet your baby sister?" Ayuan excitedly nodded his head. Lanjan carefully brought the baby's crib closer. Inside, their little daughter was sleeping peacefully. Ayuan looked at her and softly said, "Hello." He smiled brightly and said, "She's so beautiful. Have you chosen a name?" Lanjan Ziplit? Yes, her name is Lan Xian. Ayuan happily said, "Mama, she's very pretty." Wei Ying smiled and gently explained,